What's up, everybody? It's time to open up now. Nothing a big old hug and kiss from y'all will make everything better. What's up, everyone? Hopefully, it's another episode of the Bodacious Rant with Burn and Rye. I hope everybody's doing well, having a great weekend. This is a movie I've been waiting for ever since I heard about it a few months ago. And needless to say, it did live up to the expectations. But we'll get into our non-spoiler review for Evil Dead Rise, which is the follow-up to the 2013 Evil Dead remake starring Jane Clevey. And to be honest, I don't remember the whole rest of the cast in that one, but they were great. You know, that was a great one. One of my favorite remakes of horror, just remakes in general. I think it's definitely a solid one. Before we get started though into the review, please do not forget to ring the bell. Give us a like, and of course subscribe. We do appreciate it. Want to keep the ranting community going, so thank you for all that, guys, and we're gonna dive right into it. So this one in a way is not necessarily related to the 2013, so you don't have to. For those who are curious, like, do I have to watch the Evil Dead franchise to do it? Like, no, you can actually go into this just by itself if you've never seen Evil Dead. In my opinion, you'll get the gist of it real quick. It's pretty apparent.
Yeah, and I think I think this is probably even a good like entry point for people wanting to get into the Evil Dead franchise. Like, this is very much has like all the elements of those, like the previous movies, like you mentioned, the 2013 movie and Sam Raimi's first two movies. It's like, yeah, like if someone was coming in blind, it like explains everything for them. Like, they don't need to like know about any of the stuff previously.
No, and I mean, Byrne did say it right. The reason why, especially, I do agree with him, is because this is the highest rated one, at least according to Rotten Tomatoes, and depending how you ask. So, and it takes place in, I could say it takes place in Los Angeles, in this apartment building with this family who you can tell are kind of, just living life, trying to make it day by day, but they love each other. And with the sister's re-entry into the family, that's when they stumble upon a horrible finding, like an artifact, and that's when it just leads to literal all hell. So that's all I can say without spoiling it. And again, for those who've seen Evil Dead, you know the gist of it. But I don't want to say too much for those who haven't seen it. The trailers kind of spell it all out for you too. So if you haven't watched those, maybe don't check it out before you watch it, because some of the trailers were not necessarily revealing, but I was like, I think some of them, it didn't even matter to me. I love this movie, in all honesty. I'm a huge fan of horror, so I thought this one and Scream 6 are definitely the best ones so far. Given there hasn't been a whole lot of horror this year, but they're up there so far. So what did you think about this movie, Byrne? Because I know you're not super into horror stuff, but it was nice that you went. What did you think?
No, again, it's not that I'm not into horror stuff. Is that more often than not, the horror movies that come out aren't that great.
You're not into horror; they're not into you.
I don't like me. They don't like them. It's like wait, hold on. I don't like them. They don't like me. It's like, it's not a good relationship. That's going on here. But no, I mean, I've been a real big fan of the Evil Dead franchise for a while. This is one of the horror movies series that I do enjoy. I would say like this movie and to an extent Scream also. They have been basically the more consistent ones that we've gotten in a long time. So when just like you, when this movie was announced, I was very hopeful for it. I mean, I love the originals. The Fede Alvarez 2013 reboot was really cool. So I was hoping, this one, kept that ball rolling, and it certainly did. Like this movie, like if the trailers told you anything, it was get ready for a wild time, and this was absolutely a wild time. Honestly, this was like one of the more fun movies, like theater experiences I've had in a while. I would say this is like this one and Spider-Man No Way Home, like, coming off of the pandemic, this really felt like the true like audience experience. And this is one you definitely want to check out with, a huge audience in the theater, because everything that happens on screen, the crowd reaction, it's just a crazy good time at the movie theaters. Like, man, I mean, I know you want to say something about that, but Jesus Christ, like such an awesome like movie theater experience we had, for sure.
I mean, especially when someone gave us the script to Nicole Kidman's little AMC monologue, I thought, I was like, wow, this guy's really going all out. But I was like, we don't need this. We already know what it is. This is child's play to us. So I do agree with you on the theater experience. I thought it was pretty great. Definitely one of the more respectful ones I've been to in a while. Just because I feel like the theaters down where I'm at, there's always somebody on their phone. There's always these dumbass kids like running around and just doing nothing.
Mm.
But given where we went, it was a lot. I think again, everybody was really into it. They knew what they were going into and they wanted to watch it. So I do respect the crowd for that. But I just thought that the cast was really great for this one. And it's kind of funny. It was primarily women, which was very nice. Not that the other ones haven't been, but I feel like it's kind of nice when the leading ladies of Evil Dead really set the stage. Like Jane Clevey did in 2013. I thought she was awesome.
Yeah.
And then the newest
she was clearly the standout of that movie. But
Yeah.
as you mentioned, like the cast in general, I think was much stronger in this one. I think. And go ahead. I know you're going to shout out some of them in particular.
You know me so well, Bern. Especially the main one, Alyssa Sutherland, who's literally the face of this movie, much like Jane Clevey was. She was great. I know you've told me she was in Vikings, and that's one of the biggest things she's in. She's awesome. I would definitely want to see her in more movies, maybe even horror. Or now I'm kind of definitely, that's another reason for me to watch Vikings, just to see her character in that. And then her sister Lily Sullivan, who's the short-haired lady in all the movies and all the trailers and stuff so far. She was pretty solid too. Another great heroine. For like horror stuff in general. A couple of great future Scream queens, in all honesty, up there with like Melissa Barrera, Jenna Ortega, and Neve Campbell. All those awesome ladies, especially from Scream. And then honestly, the rest of them were great. Like the son, who was played by Morgan Davies, was cool. Mia Chalice, which plays a somewhat related character to this movie. I can't spoil who she is in that one. Gabrielle Eccles. I can't really say her name very well, but she's one of the
Probably Eccles.
Eccles.
Yeah,
She's one of the daughters. It was Echols, but I thought she was great. It reminded me very much. She looked like Selena Gomez, and I know we were talking like, oh my god, she looks like she'd be her sister, but I don't think they're related. Obviously, they're not. And then the other standout I was actually going to say is Nell Fisher, the young actor. I think this is her first movie too, because they did say in the credits introducing Nell Fisher. She was so adorable and just so much fun to watch when she was on screen. So I'm gonna give this one man, hate to say it, yeah, I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 5. Not hate to say it, but I'm like, do I really want to toss it out? I'm like, honestly, yes, because it kind of fulfilled my expectations of what the movie was, and actually, very surprised me in a couple of aspects of this film. A couple points in this, I was like, oh shit, this is going down right now. Like I didn't realize this was gonna happen. And yeah, I think it's one of those movies that we haven't had an Evil Dead movie in about 10 years. I know we've had Ash vs. the Evil Dead, which I unfortunately haven't watched. But that's like a good ode to a good continuation of the original movies. So I think this is definitely one of those like sequel / almost remake or requel, if you will, to really help boost back the franchise. So I'm hoping we get another Evil Dead after this. But what would you rank this, Bern?
Yeah, man. I mean, I agree with pretty much everything you said. I mean, Alyssa Sutherland as the main deadite in the movie. She, again, this is like her first like big starring role. I would say, like in like a leading sense. Yeah, I said she was in Vikings and she was awesome in that. But here is where she really like gets to take center stage, and I think she gives one of the best like performances of a deadite, of the person possessed in these Evil Dead movies that we've gotten so far. I mean, Jane Levy did a really good job in the 2013 movie. But they give Alyssa Sutherland a little bit more to do, in the sense that this movie, much like the first two Evil Dead movies, really rides that line between horror and comedy. And that's something that I really missed from the 2013 movie. It wasn't really that present there, but in here the dark comedy aspects really hit. And again, that's a really tough balance to have, but the things that happen on screen are really, really dark, but presented in a way that you kind of have to laugh at it. It did a really good job of it, and I think Lee Cronin, the director here, I mean, this is the first movie I've seen of his, and I'm definitely going to go back and look at his other ones because he did a really good job, and so did Lily Sullivan, yeah, as the lead. She was awesome, put her up there with Ash and Jane Levy's character from the 2013 movie. She did a really good job of taking the center stage and providing a heroine, worth rooting for and stuff. So that was really good. And yeah, Nell Fisher, like, oh my god, what a delightful find, which is an adorable little kid in such a harrowing situation, and really makes you like want to root for her and stuff. So all of that was great. I mean, the practical effects, that's the standard for Evil Dead now. The practical effects in this series are I think unmatched in the horror genre. I mean, there's certainly a lot of other great ones out there, but the amount of like gore and like prosthetics and stuff that they put into these movies is just it's just so awesome to see. And the fact that this was going to be an HBO Max movie originally is just like mind-boggling to me because I can't imagine not seeing this movie in the theater. And
It'd been such a waste to just go straight to TV or streaming. That would have been horrible.
yeah, because it's like, on the one hand, it would be cool for everyone to have a chance to see it. But again, that communal experience is like one of those special things. And Evil Dead is just such a great fun time. That being said, I do think there were certain elements that kind of like the beginning sort of like, like I feel like it took a little while to get going. It's not that it was bad or anything because definitely they're setting up a lot more with the characters this time around. And again, unlike the 2013 movie, the characters here I really cared for by the time things start going down. So all that legwork was necessary to make me care for them. Although it did take a little while to get going. Once it got going, it was going. So it's like that. I have to say that for sure. Like the time in setting all of it up was definitely paid off in the end. And also the bookends of the movie are feel a little bit secondary. I can't really elaborate too much on that without spoiling anything, but it feels like in the beginning and the end was sort of like a little bit removed from the central plot of the movie. But other than that, a really great time. Like I said, one of the most fun times I've had in the theater in a while. But with all that being said, I'm going to go ahead and give this one a 4 out of 5. One of my favorites of the year so far. It's definitely my favorite horror movie. I know Scream 6 was really good, but this one tops it for me.
Oh, okay. That's fair, Brian. That was a lot of good stuff there. Now I keep seeing Jane Levy's name wrong, so thank you for correcting me on that, or at least saying it correctly. It is Jane Levy. Oh. Don't ignore what I was saying. But
the K is silent. I'm just kidding, there's no K.
There's no K. I always thought there was a K. It kind of makes sense for me. But for those of you who did happen to see it, what did you guys think of this movie? We'd love to know your thoughts. Did you get super grossed out by certain scenes? Did you get scared? Were you really into it, or was this one kind of a dud for you? We'd love to know. Yeah, I may go see it again just because I really enjoyed it. So stay tuned for for our future reviews coming up. We do have the movie Sisu coming out this week, so we'll probably go check that out.
Right.
And next month, actually not this week, but next week, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which I'm hoping is great. So let's keep our fingers crossed for that one. And as always, stay bodacious and keep on ranting for the both of us.
Absolutely, everybody. Be good, be safe, and as always, we'll catch you on the next one.